What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are diving into the Ultra League Premier Cup Classic. This is the new rotation that we have, Ultra League and Ultra League Premier Cup Classic. And as you guys can see over there, we are rocking Lycanroc Midnight form. That's very important. This Pokemon is very strong. Based on the simulations and stuff, it kind of looks iffy. But the setup that it has with counter Psychic Fang and Crunch, or you could run Stone Edge somewhere in there as well, is incredibly strong. And today I want to showcase just how strong Psychic Fang can be in this meta. It's really good. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this team and these battles, and let's go and get right into it. Okay, getting into the first battle here. We have Gallade on the lead versus Charizard. A bad matchup right here, so we're going to go ahead and swap out into the Lycanroc. Now, we are going to see a Walrein come in, which is definitely not a counter to Lycanroc, especially when they're throwing the Ice Skull Spear right away. This is still going to do neutral damage, but not too much. Now, I want to try to force a shield here with the potential Stone Edge. Obviously, they have to fear that, but throwing the Psychic Fangs gets the shield, and it has a 100% chance to debuff your opponent. That is what is so amazing about Lycanroc right now. As you guys are going to see, these Psychic Fangs really start to add up, and we are going to go ahead and shield right here just to make sure we can get that switch advantage back and fully farm down so that we have a lot of energy. Now, I don't know if I threw the Psychic Fang. No, I fully farmed down right here. Okay, things are looking good. We're going to see that Charizard now come back in. We're going to go ahead and go for the Psychic Fang again. This is what's beautiful about Lycanroc, is it's a set up Pokemon. That means it's going to be dropping those defenses of your opponents with these Psychic Fangs, which makes the incoming matchup so much better. We're going to let the Dragon Claw go through. We're obviously going to be coming in with Walrein right now, and they're going to swap into a Lowland Muck, and that's going to be a good game because we're going to go for the Earthquake right here, and they do decide to surrender. So good game, very well played. Just know, on your side, if you guys see a Lycanroc, do not bring a Walrein into it. Alright, so we got Gallade now versus Charizard. Once again, we are going to swap right away into Lycanroc, get ahead on energy, and this time, we're going to see a Surf Fetch. This is what's crazy about Psychic Fangs. If those fighters on the other side do not shield a Psychic Fang, firstly, it does super effective damage, and it drops the defense. This means we can shield and completely flip this mid-game right here, while also getting us energy. Now, I make a lot of technical mistakes in this game. I believe this was actually my first game I played, so as you guys can see right here, I go for Crunch. I shouldn't have done that. I should have gone for Psychic Fangs. We are setting up. This is what Lycanroc is supposed to do. I could have gotten to 2 Psychic Fangs if I went for it instead of Crunch, which is fine. We still got switch advantage. We're going to go ahead and bring in the Walrein now, but I really wanted to show this battle because of Lycanroc's ability with Psychic Fang to really force pressure in the mid game against fighters, or just completely flip it, right? So we're going to let the Blast Burn come through. They bring in a Shadow Machamp, and I don't know why I'm staying in. I'm going to be honest. I was like knocking off the rust here in this battle. That's okay. We are still going to be able to get to an Ice Skull Spear, and now I'm like, oh yeah, I have Gallade. I think this actually was my first battle. So we're going to go ahead, and I do think I shield right here as well. This is bad technical mistakes right here. These are things you guys don't want to do. Throw those Psychic Fangs against Charizard. Make sure you swap out into the counter as quickly as you can. But we're still looking alright for this setup, as Charizard's going to have to throw a Blast Burn in order to take us out. And if they don't, we could potentially get to the close combat here and finish the game off. So they're going to go ahead and throw the charge move. If this is Dragon Claw, things are actually looking good to close out, but it is going to be the Blast Burn. Boom! We go down, but we do have a Ice Skull Spear ready to go. This does neutral here to Charizard because of that Fire Flying typing. But again, this matchup, I really just wanted to show you guys. Good game to my opponent, but that Psychic Fang landing on a fighter, really, really good. Really good. All right, moving to the next battle, we got Gallade versus Walrein right here. Okay, so Walrein, obviously a decent matchup for us, and they're going to swap into Sylveon, which is obviously a bad matchup for Gallade. So we're going to go ahead and come in, and I'm just going to go ahead and go for Ice Skull Spears right here. I just want to apply as much pressure as I can to the health, to the HP. If I go for the if I build up for the Earthquake, then, you know, they may not shield, they may shield, I don't know. But I'm just going to be throwing Ice Skull Spears right here because I know towards the end of this fight, we're going to be getting into the red, and it's going to come down to charge moves, landing, and getting shields. So that's why I'm just going straight Ice Skull Spear. So we're going to go ahead and shield right here. Obviously, we want to maintain positive switch advantage basically because it looks like they have 2 anti-fighters in the back. It might be a double charm team. There might be a flyer back there. We don't know, but they do decide to shield again, which is fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and go for another Icicle Spear. So this is going to take out the Sylveon, which is why I brought in the Walrein right here. Really good. Takes out the Sylveon, and we will see the mirror match now. So we're going to try to get to that Earthquake if we can. Otherwise, they have to throw energy, which they are. Now, this is what is going to be awesome. I believe I decided to come in with Lycanroc right here and start loading up on energy. I do. And they do decide to swap into Granbull. So again, Psychic Fangs right here. Neutral damage to Granbull, but it's going to be dropping that defense. You guys are about to see this thing get a bit out of control right here. So as you guys can see, those are counters against a Granbull right here. We're going to be able to get to another Psychic Fang as well. This is going to be getting extremely low, and we're going to swap into Gallade and do 1 Confusion right there. That Charm from Granbull, though, did an incredible amount of damage, but we will be able to get to the close combat now because of that extra Confusion that we got versus Granbull, which was really important as close combat here can one-shot. I overfarm a bit on accident right there. That was a slight mistake, but that's okay. We go for the close combat, and boom, one-shots the Walrein. So good battle, very well played right there. Psychic Fangs, again, those debuffs really start to add up. All right, so we got Gallade versus Walrein. Again, you guys are going to see a lot of Walreins and possibly Trevenants in the back as well. So let's see how we play this one out. They're deciding to stay in, which is fine by me. I'm just going to go ahead and overload on energy, and they decide to swap into Escavalier. So I will actually go for close combat now. I could have loaded up a bit more energy, but close combat here does so much damage that we can now Confusion down. I will shield the charge move coming in, as a Gallade with energy is incredibly strong in the Ultra League. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and shield farm down, and we're going to swap right away into Lycanroc because I do not want to have to shield again from the Walrein. Now, we see a Trevenant come in, and this is one of those Pokemon that can do really well against this whole team. This is why we have Crunch here on Lycanroc, because it is going to be a ghost typing there. Now, Seed Bomb does so much damage, and this is why Trevenant is a core breaker for this team if utilized correctly. But right now, we're looking pretty strong. We do get a shield there with Crunch, which is always nice. And now we have to come in with Walrein right here. And thankfully, Walrein does have access to Powder Snow and Icicle Spear, which can go toe-to-toe here with Trevenant. Plus, we are extremely bulky, so we can tank a Seed Bomb or 2. It's going to be pretty close. So we're going to go ahead, throw that Icicle Spear here, try to force that shield from the Trevenant, which we do get the final shield, which means Gallade has a lot more opportunity to close this game out. So we're going to go ahead, no shield the first Seed Bomb right here. We're hoping we can get to a second Icicle Spear in time. We do not. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to let this go. The Seed Bomb does barely take us out. I'm going to come in with Gallade and go for the Leaf Blade, but they get to the charge move just before I do, which is unfortunate, so I will have to shield. And now I'm going to throw close combat because I'm expecting them to swap, which they did. That's a really timely swap on them, but I expected it. Okay, boom, we land it, and then we get to the Leaf Blade in time here versus Trevenant. So Trevenant can be handled by this team, but it does require a lot of teamwork with Walrein and basically the whole team, Lycanroc, getting that Crunch off, which is why I'm running Crunch, but good game. All right, so now we have Gallade versus Alolan Muck right here. I don't really like this matchup, especially since this is Poison Jab right here. These fast moves are really starting to add up, so we're going to go ahead and throw a close combat right away, and then I'm going to look to swap into Lycanroc as fast as I can. Close combat here does a lot of neutral damage, and we do get a shield, but they have the charge move ready to go, so we will have to shield ourselves. Now, the Dark Pulse is blocked, and we're going to go straight into Lycanroc and see what they do. They're not swapping out, which is perfectly fine by me. We'll let a Dark Pulse hit us. I want to see how much damage this is actually going to do in the matchup, and it does a decent amount of neutral damage. That's actually a respectable amount, so we're going to have to go for Psychic Fangs now. Both Psychic Fang and Crunch are resisted here, but Psychic Fangs at least will give me that 100% debuff, which is what I need, and we're going to go ahead and throw the second one now just before they get to a second Dark Pulse. That way we can maintain the switch advantage right here and see what is going to be coming in. So we take out the Muck, which is good, and they're going to come in with a Venusaur. beautiful Psychic Fang right here is going to be doing super effective damage and 100% chance to debuff, which is why this Lycanroc is such a great setup Pokemon. We're going to go ahead and bring in the Gallade right here, as Confusion is going to be doing so much damage, as you guys can see, especially with that debuff that we gave them with the Psychic Fangs. So we'll shield the Frenzy Plant, but it's actually going to be a Sludge Bomb. That's fine. They're going to swap into Charizard, so I'm going to go ahead and go into the Walrein right here and just go straight for Icicle Spears. It does neutral damage. In order for Charizard to take us out, they really have to get to a Blast Burn and a Dragon Claw, which is a tough order, especially if they don't shield that charge move right there. This means that my Leaf Blade as well is somewhat within KO range. So we're going to be hit with a Blast Burn right here, obviously, but we can survive and get to one more Icicle Spear. They're going to have to throw their energy. Walrein with Powder Snow can take out this Charizard, so they will be forced to throw and forced to shield as well. So they do throw the charge move, which is fine. Now, I know Venusaur isn't anywhere near a charge move, so what we're going to do is throw the Leaf Blade right away to take out the Charizard, and then we should be able to Confusion down Venusaur right here. So Leaf Blade takes out the Charizard, and 2 Confusions should do it. There's 1, there's 2, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played to my opponent. All right. Moving into the next one, we got Gallade versus Venusaur. Okay, very positive matchup for us, especially when we decide to shield here, and they're going to decide to swap at some point. If you're in this matchup versus Gallade, you do not want to stay in, and you do not want to swap in a Walrein right here, because you're going to be forced to shield. Close combat does so much damage. Boom! I mean, we just absolutely shred right there, which is beautiful. Now, we are actually in a tough situation. We weren't able to fully Confusion down before they got to the charge move. So this is going to be interesting. They actually decide to bring in Swampert now, which is good for us because we can throw this Leaf Blade right here. And then we're going to look to swap into Walrein because Lycanroc doesn't have a good matchup against either Pokemon. I'd rather it face off against Venusaur when it has Psychic Fangs than facing off against Swampert, which has Hydro Cannon. I mean, we have the Psychic Fang to do super effective damage than trying to be forced to shield the Hydro Cannon, right? So we're going to go ahead and throw Icicle Spears right here. There's no reason to go for Earthquake, as we are going to be doing neutral damage and getting shields. Plus, if they decide to swap, they're going to be catching it on a Venusaur as well, so it's always good to just throw it. So here comes the next Icicle Spear. It does a decent amount of neutral damage, but things are looking good for us, as Gallade can easily close this game out. We're going to let the Hydro Cannon go through, and it doesn't actually take us out. They decide to bring in Venusaur and throw the charge move right away, which is fine by me. I can let this go. And then we're going to bring in that Gallade. Confusion down, and Lycanroc is actually going to sit the bench for this one because Gallade and Walrein as a core is so incredibly strong in this meta. It's just really good, and Lycanroc is like the icing on the cake right there with those Psychic Fang debuffs as we saw in a couple previous battles. But if you don't need them, these two can carry you pretty far. So here comes the Leaf Blade. Boom! Takes out the Swampert, and good game, very well played. Alright, moving into the next battle, we have Gallade on the lead versus Ampharos. So I actually don't like this matchup early when I'm at an energy, or even energy, so I'm going to go ahead and just go into Lycanroc right here, as I'm expecting a Venusaur in the back. With Ampharos on the lead, it's very weak to Swampert, or just ground-type Pokemon in general, so it makes sense to have Venusaur in the back, which is why I decided to swap into Lycanroc to draw it out. Now, we're going to go ahead and shield right here. I'm going to see what Lycanroc can do against the Venusaur here in the mid game, especially with the Psychic Fang debuff. So we're going to go ahead and throw another Psychic Fang. This should be forcing a shield from our opponent because they just saw how much damage it did, and it does get a shield, and I'm hoping I can get to another one in time. Yes, I can. This is beautiful. This is exactly what Lycanroc is here for. It's our set up Pokemon. It gets ourselves shields. I mean, we just got 2 shields right there. I can come in with Gallade, confuse this Venusaur is triple debuffed from right now. So we're going to go ahead, come in with Gallade, and farm down with Confusion. But they decide to swap right away into Ampharos. So I actually did a bad job at waiting that long. I should have come in right away and just Confusion down. So this might come to bite us later on. Now, we're going to go ahead and load up on some energy. I'm going to throw the Leaf Blade right here, but I believe this Ampharos has 2 charge moves, which is very unfortunate for us. Thankfully, They survived. Good for them, but I'm going to go ahead and let this go. I think I can trust in Walrein to close this game out for me because Ampharos is probably their only counter, especially Ampharos Venusaur. They got to have something weak to Walrein in the back, and sure enough, they are going to bring in a Venusaur right here, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the Icicle Spear right away because I'm anticipating something in the back weak to Walrein, especially when we have a shield because both counters are gone, and it's actually going to be a Lapras, which is going to be interesting. Thankfully, I do have Earthquake for this matchup. So we'll have to see if we can pull this off. I think we can. We do have a shield, and thankfully we can get to an Earthquake before they get to a Skull Bash. Now, what we're going to do here is this charge move can be Skull Bash. So I will shield because if they do throw it, we shielded it. And if they don't, that means I can get to another Earthquake here in time for more damage because they haven't done Skull Bash yet. So it's a tough situation, but I think it's a good call right there to just automatically shield the potential Skull Bash. So Lapras now is going to be able to get to Skull Bash in time. This has a lot of neutral damage in the matchup, but thankfully we've already landed 2 Earthquakes, so this should make the end game now a bit better for us. I'm actually going to go ahead and go for another Earthquake here. I don't want to try to go for Icicle Spear, and it just does nothing. So Earthquake now will definitely close this game out for us, and that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Okay, moving to the next one, we have Gallade on the lead versus Venusaur. Again, a very positive matchup for us because of confusion, and we will see them swap out right away into a Walrein, so I'm going to go ahead and swap into Lycanroc now. We saw what Lycanroc can do against Walrein before, and this time we're just going to go ahead and just go straight for Psychic Fangs. I want to apply that debuff, force shields if I can. Now this battler is building up to a potential Earthquake, so we will shield. I gotta respect the Earthquake right here, and it is, in fact, not going to be an Earthquake. It's going to be an Icicle Spear, so we're going to have to throw again, but they threw this charge move right away, which tells me this is actually back-to-back Icicle Spear, which we can survive. So we're going to go ahead and counter down, but I actually decide to pull the trigger and throw another Psychic Fang. I don't want them to get to a third Icicle Spear before I can take them out, which is fine. We still have some energy here on the Lycanroc, and let's see what is going to come in. It's going to be the Venusaur, rightfully so. We're going to go ahead and throw this Psychic Fang right here to apply the debuff and do super effective damage, which is really nice, but I don't want Venusaur to farm me down, so I gotta swap into Gallade and force the swap or force the energy right here from my opponent. Walrein can beat the Venusaur in the back, but I cannot beat this Venusaur if it fully farms down Lycanroc with all that energy, so we will be able to Confusion down. They aren't able to get to a second charge move, and the final Pokemon is actually going to be an Empoleon, which is perfect for us. We have double close combat. Here comes the first one. It's going to be getting the shield from our opponent, and then one more Confusion will be enough to take out Empoleon. So that is going to be a good battle, very well played, and a very satisfying boom! One-shots the Empoleon. Good game. All right. Moving into the next one, we have Gallade on the lead versus Walrein. Again, I saw it quite a few times. Some battlers decide to stay in. Some battlers decide to swap out. It all depends, but either way, we are looking strong here with our team against this Walrein. So we're going to go ahead and no-shield the first Icicle Spear right here. Definitely an interesting call on my end, but we do see a Crobat now come in. Now, Crobat right here is what's great for Lycanroc is it's going to be resisting these moves. If they went straight for Shadow Ball, that's something we have to worry about, but going for Poison Fang really does nothing to us. And Psychic Fangs as well, super effective damage plus debuffing. So this is actually a really good setup, and this is exactly what Lycanroc is built for. It's our set up Pokemon. It's going to be able to take out the Crobat. It's going to be able to get off a Psychic Fang versus the Walrein in the back, which is perfect for us. Now they do get to another Poison Fang in time, which is fine by me. I can let this go. It's not going to do too much damage, and we will be able to counter down. In hindsight, I should have overfarmed, then thrown, but that's okay. Hopefully we can get the Psychic Fang. We cannot. That is unfortunate, but setup, right? We got Walrein to 50% HP, and we drained its energy, so we're going to come in right away and start throwing Leaf Blades. We don't need to throw Close Combat in order to take out a Walrein, because it's already doing super effective damage with Leaf Blade. So We should be able to get to another one in time, which we do. This is beautiful right here. This is going to force that second shield from our opponent, and we'll have to see what is going to be in the back. And they do decide to shield again, so they obviously really fear the Gallade right now, which is fine by me, but I think I can still close this game out with Walrein. So we're going to let the Gallade go down. We have 2 shields, and it is going to be a Poliwrath in the back. This is what's great about Walrein. Icicle Spear and Earthquake have so much coverage on the meta that it really doesn't matter what you're facing off against. You're going to be able to hit them pretty hard with your charge moves, and with having 2 shields right here, we are looking very good. Now, with Poliwrath, it does have access to Dynamic Punch, which is that fighting type move for super effective damage. So we need to be careful about that, but it cannot one-shot a Walrein. It does a lot of damage, but it's not a close combat. It's not a one-shot. So we're going to go ahead and let this next one go through. It is going to be Dynamic Punch. Does a lot of damage right there, as you guys saw. But we're going to overload a bit now and go for Earthquake. So this is going to take out Poliwrath. We're facing off against the opponent Walrein as well, with about the same amount of HP. But we have a shield, so that is looking to be a good game. We obviously are going to be shielding right here in case it is an Earthquake, but it's likely going to be an Icicle Spear. That's really their only play, to throw an Icicle Spear and then try to get to an Earthquake, but we have one ready to go, so that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Again, saving shields on this team for Gallade and Walrein can prove very valuable when it comes to getting those Ws. Alright, we got Gallade on the lead versus Toxicroak. Now this is a punishing lead matchup right here for us, and we will see them swap out into Walrein as well. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Leaf Blade right here. I want to try to force a shield, and then I'm going to be coming in with that Lycanroc and doing as much damage as I can. So we do get a shield. This is beautiful. We're going to come in with Lycanroc and just throw the Psychic Fang right away. Now, this could be an Earthquake, so we're going to go ahead and shield. It's actually just going to be an Icicle Spear. Maybe it was a bit quick, but we're going to go ahead and overload on energy. This is, again, going to be another Icicle Spear, so we'll let this go. Now, one thing you guys can do, which I didn't try to do right here, is you guys could throw a Crunch to throw them off and then land the Psychic Fang versus Toxicroak. That's a pretty dirty move, but I decided to throw the Psychic Fangs right here and then just counter down, but they did get to another Icicle Spear. I'm going to judge that Lycanroc can survive it. And we can, and counter now is going to be able to take it out. We were survived with 1 HP in a dream. We're going to go for Psychic Fang, but they bring in a Snorlax, which registers its fast moves faster than I can get to my charge move, which is pretty interesting. But thankfully, we have Walrein here versus Snorlax, and Gallade can absolutely clean this team up. It can Confusion down the Toxicroak and has Leaf Blade in close combat for Snorlax. So we are looking pretty good. We're going to go ahead and throw that Icicle Spear, chunk as much health as we can from Snorlax. And they will get to a superpower right here, so that is going to be okay. They're going to swap in Toxicroak. We're going to throw the Icicle Spear now, and then we're going to swap right away into Gallade and do 2 Confusions to basically take it out. As you guys can see, there's 1, there's 2. Oh, Toxicroak just hates Gallade. It's such a bad matchup for them, but now we're looking pretty good. Leaf Blade here is going to do enough neutral damage to take out Snorlax. So there's really no need to try to throw the close combat. We just throw the Leaf Blade right away, because if you count in the Confusions and the Leaf Blade damage, this is looking to be a good game. So we're going to go ahead and block this Body Slam right here and then throw the Leaf Blade to finish this game off. So good battle to my opponent, but having a Toxicroak in a meta where Gallade exists is one of the toughest things to face off against. Alright. Good game. Moving in the next one, we have Gallade versus Gallade. All right, mirror fight right here. What I'm hoping we can do in this situation is sneak through Confusions. That's what I'm going to try to do right here. But they do get off the Leaf Blade, which is unfortunate. I will go ahead and shield. And then I'm going to try to get off double Leaf Blades here if I can. So here comes the first one. But they actually do sneak through a Confusion, so they are ahead on energy, which is very unfortunate for me. But we'll have to live with it. We do get a shield as well, and they're trying to commit to the farm down, which is fine by me. I can throw another Leaf Blade right here. This is going to take out Gallade or get me that second shield, and I'd rather have the 2 shields right here. And actually, we take out the Gallade. Okay, that's fine by me. We're going to see Crobat come in, which means Walrein now is going to come into this matchup and overload on energy. We see a swap out into Walrein, so we're going to bring in the Lycanroc. So that is perfectly fine by me. Again, Psychic Fangs. I mean, you guys get the gist of what this Pokemon does. Constant debuffs, non-stop, doing lots of damage with counter and setting up the next fight by applying debuffs to that Pokemon that comes in. We're going to go ahead and shield that Earthquake as well, which is beautiful for us. We're going to overload on energy. I get a bit of lag, so I decided to throw the Psychic Fang before maybe they get to another Earthquake if I was lagging. So this is going to take out the Walrein. But they actually decided to shield, which is fine by me. I can still close this game out with my own Walrein. As this Icicle Spear is not going to be enough to take us out, we will counter down, and then we're going to go ahead and go for Psychic Fang here versus Crobat. It still does super effective damage because of that poison typing, and after we land this, we're going to swap right away into our Walrein and go for the Icicle Spear to close this game out. So that is going to be a good battle, very well played to my opponent. This team, honestly, very, very strong performance today. As you guys can see, if you have energy or shield advantage with Gallade and Walrein, it's a wrap. It can do so well in this meta, and Lycanroc can really get that for you. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Lycanroc, a really strong Pokemon. I hope you guys give it a try for the Ultra League Premier Cup Classic. You guys could run it with Stone Edge as well for those awesome booms versus Charizard if you guys want to, but yeah, really fun team. So like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.